Hello, people of Reddit. This is Jesus Skywalker, and I just kind of felt like making a video today. Kind of want to say hi to everybody. Um, go through some things that I've always kind of wanted to express. Like I try to express it in my update post when I'm giving chart TA to you guys. I'm trying to express like why I think things are going to go the direction that they're going to go. Um, but I felt like maybe a video might help with that. If uh, if this video is popular, maybe I'll make more in the future. I don't know. I'm definitely winging this right now. I have a couple things written down as far as like just to help me remember points I wanted to make. But basically, I want to go through just a bunch of things about the way I see the chart and why I see things the way that I see them, and to try to help some of you guys to maybe utilize some of that knowledge, maybe apply it to your own knowledge, and see if you can learn it for yourselves. Or see things that you agree or disagree with me on, and we can debate that too. Um, where do I want to go with this now? Let's talk about my band real quick. So I got banned, uh, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Um, the ban was over this post right here, and to be honest, I don't know why I've been banned. Like I'm putting this up here. Like I hope that I don't know what I can do about this. This is the third time I've had a ban like this. Um, the other times that I've had bans, it was definitely a mistake. I'm gonna show you in a minute, and maybe you'll understand. But so this post here was just "Am I the asshole?" post where um, this woman wanted her husband to sign a post-nuptial agreement because he found out that he had a child like well after they were married. Like it was a child he never knew about, and I mean, this guy didn't do anything bad. He didn't cheat on the wife. He didn't do anything, but because of this, like she wanted him to have to sign this agreement to the point of considering divorce if he didn't sign it. And so, but that's just a backdrop of the post. But this is to explain like what was going on in this. This guy here was saying that like this is why he'll never get married. I'm 51, and I got married last year to my wife, who I brought here from the Philippines. And you know, as I got a little bit older, um, I worried about being alone. And so, like, I made some comments that were basically just saying, like, hey, that's nice when you're young to think like that, but, like, when you get older, you might think a little bit different. And so the guy went on to say, like, he's ready to die alone, whatever. And basically, we're just having a conversation. Nobody's really snapping at each other. Um, this right here is the comment that I got banned for, and I don't know what it said, but based on the rest of the conversation, I don't think I said anything crazy there. Uh, the only thing that does worry me is that this guy in this comment here was just he was making a joke about like how he just wouldn't want to deal with somebody else's kid no matter what. Like that was his whole thing about this story was like if he found out somebody else had a kid, he'd never have anything to do with them. To the point where he said, "I'd shoot myself in the head first so I don't have to deal with it. I can't relate." Now, I don't know what I said back to that, but I mean, like, I think it's more about what he said with the shoot himself in the head. Like, I definitely didn't say anything crazy back to him. Now, I did say here that he does, like, the way he bashed on kids right here, that he kind of sounds like he's a loner. He doesn't really care about anybody. But if that's who he wants to be, and he's happy, go ahead with it. And I mean, like, we had one more. Like, he responded once back more to me, and I didn't respond again. This was from a month ago. That's why I'm banned. I have no idea what I did, but that's why I'm not there anymore. And I appreciate YL33 for helping me, because I have wanted to, make these posts still. I mean, if you've ever been banned from Reddit, it sucks, man. Like, I have friends in the Jasmy mod group that we have an ongoing conversation, and I can literally still read the conversation that they're having, but I can't be a part of it. I can't respond to it. I see the comments you guys make, but I can't respond to it. Sometimes I'll ask YL33 to respond to something on my behalf, and he's kind enough to do that. That is not me, by the way. That is a friend that I made through talking about trading, and we both kind of helped each other with advice along the way about different things that we've seen in trading. But just to explain about how these bans work, and if you think I'm wrong about being kind of wrongfully banned, this post right here, this was what I got banned for the first time. It took me 6 months to undo this ban. Okay, this post was in the War Thunder subreddit, which is a video game, and it said, and this guy said, any Chinese, what is he saying? Basically another player sent him a message in Chinese, and he couldn't read it. And all I did was respond with a joke. It says number 1. Dude, that's like a common video game meme. It's like this.
For subbing, Moon Knight, Midnighter, thank you. Are you fucking me right now? What made me flip? China.
I mean, that comment right there, it was an obvious meme kind of thing, but anyway, it is what it is. But anyway, I don't know how long it'll take me to get this fixed. I do believe that it will get fixed. I mean, I don't think I said anything inappropriate, so I mean, I gotta think that eventually, when somebody does look at the appeal, it takes a long time to get the appeal looked at. I mean, it just does. But eventually, I hope that when they see that they'll realize that it was a mistake and undo the ban. But until then, there's nothing I can really say about that. So, going to the chart for Jasmy now. So this is where we're at with Jasmy. We this peak right here was June 7th. All right, Jasmy peaked out just under 4.5 cents, 0.446, and it's been in a downtrend since. This bottom here, or the current low, it was on the 5th of July, and it looks like the bottom is just over 0.19. And that's where we stand today. I'm going to go more into I'm going to go a lot more into depth on the chart a little bit later on in the video, but I just wanted to basically give you guys a reason as far as why I do these, and just to get it out of the way. I guess I'm supposed to say it, but none of this is financial advice. This is just me talking about why I see things the way that I see them. And I am also not a holder of Jasmy. And it's very simple as far as why. I mean, a lot of people think I hate on Jasmy because if I'll say things that are bearish about Jasmy, but I say them when Jasmy is bearish. And you know, I say good things about Jasmy when things are bullish, but I mean, I have to look at the chart objectively and tell you what I see, and it's either, you know, I don't see it as bullish or bearish because, to be honest, like people don't a lot of people don't understand, you know, kind of basic concepts with investing, like they only, you know, everybody wants the chart to go up. Everybody wants to be holding something that's gaining in value. But like the only way you can truly make money in this game is when price goes down. Like when you know, you buy in somewhere down here, you know, like you buy in down here at this circle and you ride this up to here. I mean, if you don't do anything and you just ride it back down to here, well, I mean, what the hell is the point of that? You know, like what's the point of having this? This is right here. It's a 193% gain. What's the point of getting this 193% gain and then losing 57% of it? I mean, is it going to keep going up? I mean, most likely yes. But I mean, eventually there's a time where when you think it's going to keep going up, it doesn't. And if you're in a mindset that you're just never going to sell, then I mean, how are you going to keep things from happening to you? So like, why do I do these videos? This is why I do these videos right here. Okay, so this, I can't look at, I can't use this chart. I have to go back to this chart. Okay, this is the Jasmy chart. That's this cycle right here. This fucking monster back here is last cycle. Okay, and I watched everybody. I was invested in Jasmy back here. Okay, so so I watched Jasmy come all the way up, go fucking nuts through the roof, and then come crashing back down, and then go back up again. And you know, everybody thought Jasmy was going to keep, you know, just going and going and going. This point here that I pointed to on the chart, this was the first time I ever mentioned in the Jasmy subreddit that like there was a problem with Jasmy. This was a major break in structure. You have this huge line here. Once you had this breakdown, like that became extremely bearish. And this was the first time that I said anything, but nobody was selling. This right here, like, just so you see for the, like, when you look at it now, it's so obvious, but this is gonna happen again. And like this shit happens. This is what happens for a bull cycle that goes into a bear cycle. You're gonna have that moment where, you know, things go up, things come down, things go back up. Like right here, things went up. Let me get this path tool right here. Right here, things went up, they came back down, and then it continued up to here. So it was easy to think that, like, when it comes down, that it's just going to keep going. But here it didn't. Okay? Once you had this moment, I mean, like, looking back at it now, it's I was a rookie last cycle, being honest. I mean, all of the things that I've learned during the last 4 or 5 years. Okay? But I was here last cycle for all of this. And now I know that, like, once you saw this right here, that's a pretty clear sell. like looking at it now, you had this huge spike here, followed by this huge drop. And when the continuation was not able to, reach this same peak, that's a sell. Like, even if it comes down to here and bounces again, if it comes back to this point, you could just buy back in. Like, you don't even have to lose there. But this is a sell, because if this breaks down right here, you have a problem. And if you didn't sell here, you damn well better sell here. Because once it passes this point, now you're in a bear market. Now you could say that the top is in. Okay? That's the top for the cycle. When it got to this point, I told everybody that the top was definitely in, and that we were in a significant, we were going into the bear market for sure. Okay. At this point, I said in Jasmy that I felt like Jasmy would probably fall all the way to zero, just based on how hard it was falling, and how, just the moment there was no spikes that were making you feel like every time it could do nothing but reject the moving average. So I back in the days with that sub, it was run a little bit different, and I ended up getting banned for being bearish. And later on, we've kind of cleared things up, and I'm good friends with all those guys now. So I came back and I started doing TA for Jasmy, so that people would kind of understand how I see things. So, okay. Couple of things to explain as far as how I look at a chart versus how other people look at a chart, because everybody has their own methods, but these are the methods that I use. I use what's called the hybrid system, which I don't use a lot of fib levels. I don't use I do make trend lines because I think that they're useful as far as just for visual recognition, but a trend line's only important until it's not. And everything that I need to know, I can get from the candles. I use Traders Realities indicators for volume weighted candles. So when you're looking at my candles, they look a little bit different than the regular red and green candles you see on a lot of charts. So when you have volume weighted candles, this gray candle here, this is just a normal routine green candle, but it's only going up with an average amount of volume. It's just a normal volume candle that's going to the upside. This black filled red candle is an average volume candle that's going to the downside. These blue candles here, this is where it's interesting, because blue, and also down here, I don't know how well you'll see this, I might have to blow this up a little bit, but pink and blue are they're vector candles. They count as vector candles, which means that they're high volume candles. But hold on one second, I need to just close my door. Blue and pink candles are vector candles, but they're only they're not quite super duper heavy volume. When you see these green and these red vector candles, those are huge volume candles to the upside and the downside. Okay, now thing is that when you ask anybody like what does it mean when you have these candles, they just, everybody says the same thing. It's it's a green candle, so it's going up, and it does mean that price is going up when you have that green candle. But why is price going up? Okay, because a lot of people are under the assumption that when price is going up, that buyers are in control. And that's not true. When price is going up, sellers are in control. And they're in control because when you buy something, when do you want to buy it? Do you want to buy it when it's low priced or when it's high priced? It's low priced, right? I mean, you want to buy down here, right? You don't want to buy up here. So the reason that price is going up is because people are not selling. Okay? Retail buys as price is rising. They're considered dumb money. Okay? Market makers and smart money buys as price is falling. Okay? Market makers provide liquidity for both sides. And because of that, you can use these candles as points to recognize what price is likely to do in the future. So when you have these big vector candles going up, these are points where the market maker provided liquidity against you. So when you bought while price was rising, he was going short against you. Okay? And then when we have this correction to the downside, this is the market maker recovering or closing all of his shorts that he opened on the way up. Okay? And on the way down, he's creating his longs that he'll recover as price starts coming back. Okay? So how do we apply this when we're looking at the Jasmy chart? Okay, let me go back to this is the chart I want for Jasmy. Okay, so this right here is the current situation for Jasmy. This is the daily chart, and Jasmy has had a breakout right here, and if we go into my projections for this area, hang on a second, where is it? It's this one right here. This was my last projection for Jasmy. I marked out this blue area right here as an area of interest. Okay, an area of interest is different than this green area here, which is like what do you call it? This is a pool of liquidity. Okay, a pool of liquidity means that price aggressively moved through a zone that it did not go back into. Like I said, like when price is rising, the market maker is going short against this. Okay, the market maker will never lose money. Okay, it will not happen. So the market maker will bring price back to that zone to recover the liquidity that's trapped in this area. Okay, and it happens all the time. I'm going to go back through the chart in a little bit and explain how you know that these areas are going to be recovered. Okay, because see, here's the thing, right? When Jasmy starts going up like this, read the sub. The whole sub says like, "Oh my God, you know this is never going to end. We're going to the moon. It's coming up. It's never coming back to this area again." But as soon as I see this area right here, and where's the chart? As soon as I see this right here, I'm pretty convinced that it's going to come back to this area. It does way more often than not. Okay, so going back to this right here, and why do I point at this area right here and call it an area of influence? Because it doesn't look like anything when you're just looking at it right here. Okay, but if you take a deeper look into the chart, let's see. All right. I usually use the 5-minute time frame for when I'm identifying pools of liquidity or areas of interest. It's the lowest time frame to be able to that I notice that it's just the smallest area of time that I tend to notice things, and like where I'm able to mark them out pretty well. You can look at see like let me just point like shit, I didn't mean to move that. Like on this chart right here, right? This was the most recent update I did. Like this is a 1 hour candle, and I have this green box marked off to where this is a pool of liquidity, but I don't have this whole green candle marked. You know, so why is that? Like, why did I only mark this portion of the box as being like the pool of liquidity? And it's because if you go into the chart, into the 5-minute, when you look at this area here, this is the 1 hour candle. So it looks like none of this has ever been recovered. All right. But if you break it down to the 5-minute, you see that this here was recovered by this wick. All this area right here has already been recovered. So really, you just have, honestly, you could mark this like this, because this candle here has been halfway recovered. Halfway is considered to be recovered for a pool of liquidity. Generally, they will recover like the full pool of liquidity, but half is enough to where, like, if you get half and a strong movement away from there, you wouldn't necessarily like assume that they were going to come back to there. So you could mark that like that, but that's that right there. That's your pool of liquidity right there. Why did we mark this blue zone off? The blue zone was marked because if you come down to the 5-minute candle here, this right here, this run right here, all the way up to here, everybody thought this is Jasmy's gonna break out right here. This is Jasmy's gonna go. I think somehow I screwed up this trend line while I was making this, and I'm sorry, that trend line probably should have been coming through up here, but anyway, so this zone. Jasmy was attempting to break out here and reversed. And when it came down here, Jasmy definitely could have came down to here and bounced and just kept going up. But this blue candle here, Jasmy started to come with force, ran out of steam right here. It attempted one more push to the upside right here, and then it collapsed and price just fell through the floor. Okay, and right here you could see that once it broke through the floor of this, it picked up aggressively and moved down to there. All right, but when it came back up, what happened? Right here you got green vector, pink vector. Where does the pink vector end? Right at the top of that zone. Okay. As soon as it reached the top of that, it aggressively pulled away. Once it broke through the bottom of this, it moved away aggressively. So now already this area is looking very, very suspicious. Next time it moves back up to the same area, as soon as it comes right up to this area, immediately falls, immediately pulls away. Okay, so you know that. Oh, damn it! That's great. So you know that when Jasmy comes to this area, it's going to have to break through it with like conviction, you know. And if you look through the comments that I made on Friday, and this is before, you know, this is before we're anywhere near that zone. Like I pointed that zone out on Tuesday. And I said here that if it'll have to move through it with conviction. Okay, like it's not going to be able to bullshit through that zone. It's going to have to fire through it. Okay. And when we come back to here and looking through like my projections for the week, let's see, where was, okay, this was the first, I didn't make a projection on Monday because I was fucking sour because I blew a trade being a fucking moron on Monday or a Sunday night. I just I'll show you what I did. I trade a lot of this coin here, and this coin, I love the way that it moves. It moves amazingly well, and it's very cheap to trade. So generally speaking, when you have these little swings, like where you have the crosses of the what do you call it, the 5 and 13 moving average, you can take advantage of these crosses, and I mean they trade very well. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to talk while I'm looking for a specific spot on the chart. I think I went back too far. Oh yeah, there it is. So right here, Nasana had like a nice little 13% pump. When I get a like 13% pump, I can't wait to sell. All I'm looking for is, please show me the sign that you're going to turn back down and dump. Because, like, okay, when you're looking at this chart here, you have a widening between the moving averages here. And it doesn't like that. Like anytime you see moving averages start to spread apart like this, it's going to come back. Like everything returns to a mean. Okay, so eventually it's going to have a breakdown and it's going to drop down. Moving average is going to cross, and then you're going to have like another opening like you do down here. You know, like, oh shit, that's not what I meant. Oh, sorry about that. Right here you have a widening, and then crosses right there, moves up strongly. Okay, but when you see this, you know that like it's coming. Like it's, you know, like you can't just sell. You can't just sell right here just because you think, you know, like because it could fucking go, you know, another dollar or so, you know. And you have no idea, you know, like, but I mean, you see these things happen enough, and like right here, you know, like when this came up to here, widening, cross at a 5 and 13, moving average right here. That's a spot where you can take a stab at selling, and the difference. This is why. I got so sidetracked on this that I forgot to explain. I mean, I was explaining why I don't hold Jasmy. And, like, the reason I don't hold Jasmy is because I can't trade this small of a move on an Ethereum-based coin because gas fees are too high. And it's that simple. Like, this move right here to here, that's a 16-cent move. And I can make a ton on that. Like, I can make a great... And this happens all the time. So, like, that's why I totally think you guys that are invested in Jasmy are going to make a ton of money. But, I mean, I don't have enough money to invest in everything that I think is going to do good. Okay, I think a lot of things are going to do great, and I don't have money to put in all of them. Plus, I can flip this shit all day. I'll make my mistakes, but over the long term, like, they won't matter. But we're talking about the trade how I screwed up, and basically, I sold. I sold right here. Okay. This candle moved so aggressively and created this 5 and 13 cross that I was willing to take a stab. I did have to, like, you know, this little, you know, 75.9 or like 275.9, and it came back up to 277.7. I mean, that's a little bit scary because it could just take off on me, and like, you know, it's all dependent on when I'm gonna admit that I'm wrong. But I got pretty lucky here, and we just and it just fell hard. Now because of how far we had come, I had every reason to think that the 5 and 13. This is only the 5-minute time frame. This is not like the daily time frame or something. This is 5-minute time frame. The 50 and 200 moving average. The blue line is 50, white line is 200. These cross all the time. So when you had this hard of a fall, it's very easy for me to believe that price is going to come back up and retest this line and then break down again. So the smart thing to do, and the thing I try to do, is just take the sale. Like, I sold here, so I started making money here, and like when it came up here, it came up and rejected here, but when it started coming back up here, I have to sell I have to buy back in somewhere in here. This is a nice little trade. Like, that was a good return right there. but I didn't. I held on waiting because I really believed that it was going to reject this 50-day moving average. Like a lot of lately I felt like I was buying back a little bit too quickly. Like I was doing well on the trades, but I felt like I could do better. So I'd been, kind of like I was buying back here all the time. And this time I didn't, and price came back up here, and I mean, I was waiting to see if it was going to reject here, and man, this shit just went. And like that's fast, man. I mean, like that is like hard to react to where this here from down here where I sold, like that's a pretty bad loss. And I mean, the thing is I know seeing these vectors here that like I can probably just hold and wait for it to come back to me, but like I don't know, maybe I'm just not that good yet because I did have to just buy back because I mean like this is a low cap coin. This shit can go, man. Like this shit could go to $3-4 in no time. And if you think I'm kidding, man, like look at this, like where's my chart? Oh wait, actually I don't even want this chart. I need the older one. Like people will talk about like what Jasmy can do. Look at this shit, man. This shit. This shit was 1 penny on the 25th of October and went straight to $7 or $8 from a penny to $8. Like this shit moves, man. Like so I like flipping this. I like flipping this coin. It's cheap, but is this coin going to be as successful as Jasmy? I mean, I don't know. It's an AI coin. AI is pretty hot shit right now, so I mean it might, but I mean, I don't know. And I'm here to talk about Jasmy's chart, and I'm not here to like fluff any coins or anything. I'm just explaining why I don't hold Jasmy, even though I do think that all of you that hold Jasmy are going to make a ton. But like, I make these videos because I watched all those people hold from fucking 27 cents down to 0. And I mean, granted, they kept buying and buying and buying. I mean, like, that's the thing. Jasmy's supporters, y'all are, as close to a cult as I can say I've ever seen in crypto. And I mean that in a good way, man. Like, you guys, you're fucking full on supporting Jasmy, man. Like, 100%. And that's great. But, I mean, all I'm saying is that if you take the enthusiasm you have for Jasmy and you maybe like listen to a little bit of basic investing advice, or like not financial advice, but like just this is routine, normal, everyday, investing. This is like buy high and sell high and buy low kind of stuff. For everybody that had any idea what happened with Jasmy back here, let's move this chart to where you can only see this. When you saw this happen, this is a move of 425%, 423 in 24 days. When you see a move like that, like, there's gonna have to be a retrace. It's gonna like I said, these moving averages, like, they can't spread apart forever. Things have to return to the mean. Like, and the psychology behind that is that like people have to have a reason to buy. Like, if something's gone up and gone up and gone up, if you just saw something go up 400%, why the hell would you buy it? Like, I mean, don't you need like to see it come down a little bit so you can like know you're getting a decent price? Like if you see something go up 400% and you even think about buying it at that point, like what makes you think you're not going to buy the top? I mean, and no matter how much you believe in Jasmy and you think Jasmy's going to go to $17 or whatever crazy shit y'all think it's going to do, like, no matter what, that's fine. If you think Jasmy's going to $17, I mean, like, I don't believe in it that strong. I think you guys are going to do great. I just think that we maybe define great differently, and that's fine too. But what I don't want to see is like you guys get stuck the way the last cycle got stuck. And the thing is this, right? Like, if you never sell, like everybody has this notion in their head that like, oh, I'm going to sell, but I'm going to sell the top. Well, if you never sell, how do you know where that is? How do you know that that's not the top? You know? Like if we go back to Jasmy from last cycle, you know? Everybody thought it was going to keep going from here. And then from here. And then from here. And then they thought it was going to keep going from here. And they keep going from here. And keep going from here. And nobody sold. And like, I know people that have made $1 million in Jasmy already. Because of the move that's happened just to this point. They stacked up so much in here that they're already millionaires right here. Okay? And for them, that's great. But like, if you're not in, so like listen, right? If you're a Jasmy millionaire already and you don't want to listen to my advice because like you think that, you know, Jasmy's destiny is just keep going and going and going, and like you're already, you know, you already got your millions, and you don't need to like take any risk. That's fine. I understand that completely. But if you're not in that category, if you're somebody that's trying to like, you know, get there, or maybe you didn't know about Jasmy back here. Maybe you didn't find out about Jasmy until here, when it already started doing this, you know? So, don't you want to make, like, you know, more with your stack? Because, like, people always talk about DCA. And so, like, when Jasmy comes up here and then when it comes down here, they're like, oh, buy the dip, you know, buy the dip. And their idea of buy the dip is take more of your cash and buy it right here. That's not a bad idea. That'll get you up to here. There's no point if you're not going to sell because it's just going to come right down here. This is damn near right where you bought. You know? My idea of buy the dip is that when you see this kind of... Let me go back to this chart. When you see this... When you see this crazy ass move right here, this is what we say it was 423%. It's obvious that it's gonna come back down. Like it's obvious now. Like you can't. It's hard to sell right here. You know now. Like generally, I'm not looking at shit on a daily chart to make a decision like that. Like I'm looking on a much smaller time frame, but I'm also not. I don't have to overcome Ethereum's gas fees, and you guys do. So, like, the amount that you have to make, I don't even know what Ethereum, I don't even know how much it costs to buy and sell Jasmy, to be honest. But what I do know is that nothing would stop you from making money on a 44% drop. Okay? If you sold, like, Jasmy comes down, and let's move it to, like, maybe the 1 hour chart. We're back here. Okay. So, like, Jasmy reached this peak right here. This is the top of its 423% move. To explain the psychology of what these candles mean, everybody sees green vectors going up and they're like, yeah, to the moon, we're going to the moon. You don't understand what's going on with the candle. Okay? When you see these candles at the top of a move, that's not a good thing. Okay? Like, retail buys when price is going up, but the smart money bought when it was going down. The smart money bought as price was falling here, and they are selling into you here. The reason why this candle's green is because sellers are getting involved, and they're selling until the buying dries up, and then you have this pink candle, and so, like, to be honest, you have all of this move, and then, like, okay, so, like, this is what you have to ask yourself, right? Yeah, okay, and you could even, we don't even, I was looking here, same shit's here. Like, you had this tremendous move, where price was rising. Why do you have these green candles up here? Like, the green candles, the bright green candles where it's shooting up real high, those are the good ones, right? So why does the price fall right after them? It's because this is where you started being sold into. And then this is where they bought it back up. And then this right here is where they started selling into you again. And they drove the price down. Now, if you can start benefiting from this and recognizing that, see, you could have got, like, when it's coming up, like, you need you need a little bit more confirmation, you know, like, you could have sold right here when you saw this price, this candle coming down. But price was still above the 5 and 13. Now, like, if we go back to, like, I don't know if I can go back that far to the 5-minute candle. I probably can't. Let me see if I can see it on the 15. Yeah, so, like, it's the only thing that sucks with charts is that, like, you know, they can't keep the data. Like, you can watch these charts all the way down to, like, 1 second, but they can't keep that data forever. So over time, like, you can only look so far back on, and this is the 1 hour time frame. But what I was saying is, price is coming up and firing up, and then you had green vector. When you saw this pink vector, you could have been compelled to sell here, and you would have seen, you know, some return here. But when price didn't violate this this moving average here, when it, like, this yellow one is the 5-day moving average, and the red one's the 13, and ideally you want to see, like, a cross, like right here. So I usually use, like, a shorter time frame because of the coin that I'm trading on. But if I was trading something like Jasmy, I'd kind of want to see at least a 1 hour Maybe, I don't know, maybe, what's 30 minute look like? Let's see. I don't even know. I'm winging this, man. Like, so, can't accuse me of, like, buttering up my clips here. I have no idea what this shit looks like here. But, this is the 30-minute chart, and on a 30-minute chart, yeah, 30-minute worked out pretty good for you. You had a cross right here. And if you sold right here, I mean, if you sold, now this candle, I mean, you could say you sold right on that line there, but I mean, let's not bullshit, man. Like, you probably got out down here, okay? But hell, man, look at that. This is nice. That's a 27% gain, dude. And like, the beauty of a gain like this is like, okay, like, however much Jasmy you have at this point, you have 100% of Jasmy. If you don't sell, you still have 100% here. All right, and then it goes back up here, and it's fine. But if you sell this here and add 26% anywhere in here, like, you don't have to wait to see if this is going to go down further. Suppose it went down. Suppose you got out here, and then like right here, when price started going back up, you got scared and you bought back right here. That's 12% gain. You made 12% even though you bought too early. And there was more room to the downside. But you didn't know. You didn't know. But like, isn't that 12% gain worth something? I mean, so you bought that. Let's say you screwed it up here. You bought back too early here. You got a 12% gain. All right. Then you rode down. It bottomed and it came back up. All right. When this shit steamrolls up here to the top again, right? You see these two green vector candles up here. Like, when you see vector candles, like, once they're not going anywhere, like right here, this ended, like it was shooting up right here. But then it like, you know, now it's not, no more vectors. It's still kind of trending up, but it's slow. Why are these vectors here? Like, why are people all of a sudden happier to pay more for Jasmy here than they were down here? You know, why are they so excited here? So this is a clear sign that like you might be near a turning point. This right here is across of the 5 and 13 moving average, and would have been a point I would consider a good sell point. So, again, if you rode down to here and you just traded to the next cross back up, it's another 12% gain. 12% gain there, 12% gain, 12% there and 12% there. That's not worth something to you. Now you hold and you benefit from this next, you know, massive climb again. Vector candle, top of the movement, cross down. Now this one, like this, probably would have got you fast. Now, like, one word of advice that I will say is, like, you know, if you miss this move because like this happened fast, if you miss this and it's gotten to the point down here where it's kind of slowed down, don't sell. This is where it's okay to hold. It's fine to just sit there and hold. No big deal. Like, if you miss an opportunity to sell, never chase it, because that's where you will get wrecked. Okay? If you sell at the wrong time, you should be able to get by with just a minimal loss, because it shouldn't take that long before you realize that you're wrong. And then you can just buy back. But like if you get it right when it's going down, you get a huge gain. So, Jazz, I apologize. I had to make a cut there, and I probably lost my train of thought. But anyway, then if you missed, like I said, if you missed that and you didn't like sell, that's fine. If you did sell, the gain wasn't huge there, but I mean it was something. Once you kind of had this bottoming out, I mean, I wouldn't screw around. Like once you've made a gain, even if it's a small gain, like when it bottoms out and it doesn't, you know, it's not showing any indication that it really like wants to push down further. I mean, you could just buy back, and you know you've already made a gain, so that's a win. Then here you got all these vector candles, okay, and I'm about to go through and explain like with why these spots are important and why other things are important. But anyway, these vector candles are retail being sold into, and as soon as it exhausts, now you have a bottoming out. So this here, like when I see vector, 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 and then a turnover, I don't have to necessarily wait for the cross of this. Like I'd feel kind of confident once it, you know, like once I had a couple of candles coming like that, I'm expecting some kind of move down. So I might I would be a little bit more aggressive with a sell, like watching a move like this, especially when it's like, you know, you've come from all the way here to all the way there, and this was also after all, you had a big gain, then you had a breakout, and now you've had a vector, 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 and a rollover. I'd be very aggressive with this sell. Like, so if you sold the 5 and the 13 cross, that would have got you out there. Put a line there, and I mean, where you could, the amount you could have made is up to you there. I mean, down here is, you know, this is 30%. Even over here, if you missed this, like in here, there's 19%. I mean, like all of this was areas where you could have, you know, you could have bought the dip with your own money, with the money that you took from Jasmy here. And thing is like if you don't do these things, right, it's fine. But like if you're just a long-term holder, or if you, like I said, if you got Jasmy millions and you don't give a damn, then that's cool. But if you're trying to build and you're not taking these opportunities, I mean, the problem is when the market does, you know, turn, you're not going to know to sell, and you're going to hold all the way back to the bottom again. And like, if you were here 4 years ago, that's painful, man. It's very, very, very painful. So anyway, that is why I tell people to sell, because like, look at all these chances you had. You could sell to here, down to here, rides back up to this peak, back down to here. Like, all of these are so many money making opportunities. Now, like I said, like Ethereum based coins, a little harder. Not gonna lie, that's definitely a thing. But like, regardless, I mean, this is routine investing as far as I'm concerned. Like, you cannot get rich buying or selling or buying or holding any asset, you can only get rich selling it. Like, you can't go to the store and, buy a jacket with Jasmy. You got to buy it with dollars. So, I mean, the only way you're going to get rich is the day you sell. And like, if you don't know, if you don't start selling obvious tops, then like you're just going to ride to bottoms. And like I said, I don't hold this coin. I can't flip this coin. Like, it doesn't suit me the way other coins do. But I do, think I can read this coin fairly well. So, like, now I'm just going to explain the ins and outs of, like, why, when I see a chart, like, why the hell does it look like this? So, looking back at my projections from last week, this is where we started, and I had marked out this blue area here as an area of influence because of what I showed you with the candles and all that before. I'm not going to regurgitate all of that, but this green pool of liquidity I had also marked out for the same reasons. And so when prices here, like, TA is not like you're not like a wizard. I don't see the future. What I see when I look at this is that you have an area down here where there's a bunch of money stuck, and you have this area up here that's been, kind of an interesting area. Plus, you have this trend line here, which to this point it's meant something. To this point, now, like I said, a trend line means something until it doesn't mean it, and so it's not like none of these things by themselves are like the reason that you act. It's all what they mean together. So when I see Jasmy, and Jasmy's firing up here, and the whole Jasmy community, they see this thing going, it's to the moon, man, it's going to $5. And me, I look and I say, I got this area up here and this area down here. So if it starts breaking down, I think that this would be an area that would probably reverse to start going up. And if it keeps going up, I would look at this to be an area to be like, all right, this would be probably where it starts to come back down. And like, that's everything. Like my whole thesis for what I'm trying to do is based on being able to guess where it's going to go next, and to use that to try to make a decision. So that's what I see when I'm looking at this. And I said it. I said it'll either break down and take this pool of liquidity, or it'll come up here. But if it comes up here, it's probably going to make a turning point. You had a lot of confluence here. You got this blue zone, this trend line, this red line right here is the range daily high. That's the highest that's based on average, like the average, the highest average move it could make would be to that area right there. It can go past that, but I'm just saying, like, it's based on calculations that is the highest you would expect it to go on a daily basis. So from there, Jasmy ends up coming down and taking this pool. Okay, and at this time, we just had like a cross right here of the 1 hour 50 and 200. It's aggressively moving down. We have this pool of liquidity, but I'm not necessarily expecting Jasmy to bounce straight back up. Now it absolutely can, and I do have this marked that this pool right here is probably an area where it's going to be a turning point, because this is a zone that needed to be recovered. Okay, so I did expect Jasmy to go up, but I also thought that based on the momentum that it had, that it might turn and come back down. However, I did say that, it can continue up to this area here. So then we move on to this day, and it did come down. It took this pool of liquidity exactly how it was expected to do, and it moves up aggressively. Okay, so now on this day, I said that I expected it to come to this pool of this area of interest, and then like it would either reject from right here at the trend line, turn right here at the blue, and if it went through that, it would either have a break. It would either if it went through this aggressively, it would have a breakout. If it somehow managed to just kind of meagerly make it through this, it would probably reject the psychological high right here, which is also at the average daily or the high ADR, and it would reject from there. What happened? It came up right into this blue area and rejected straight away from it. Then it came up again, rejected right here, came down, and then fired through. And exactly what I said, when it came through with vector candles and aggressively moved through this zone and ripped it, which is exactly what I said it was going to do for that. Now, just something for you to know, like when you see this is a 5-minute candle, and like if you're able to day trade Jasmy, like with like a USDT position to where like you don't have to like if you're able to long and short Jasmy with leverage using USDT, and you're looking for zones to like either exit longs or to start shorts, when you see things like this right here, this blue candle at the top, you had this green candle that kind of this green vector candle at the top of the range that was completely out of place. You have no vectors in this candle, and all of a sudden at this top right here, you get a green vector, and then you have this blue. This blue vector is sus as hell. This would definitely be a spot that I would look to short from. It just it happens all the time. I mean, like you look over here, and I mean, you know, when you look over here, what happens? You get this blue candle at the top, short. Okay, but like when you see it at a super high like that, especially you've already mapped this out. Like I already had this box drawn before this even got here. And then I get this blue candle, man, I would have shorted the shit out of that. That's just a tip for like if you see this kind of thing develop when you're looking for a shorting opportunity or sell or to close your position. That's an easy spot. And I wanted to, so this spot where I marked over here, you're like, you know, just be easy for me to like pull something out of my ass. That, I mean, I marked this well before it even got there. It's in the updates, you can see it, but like, you know, just to show you why I look at things like that, it's already happened. Like, okay, like right here. Had the same thing. Jasmy has been coming down and it's looking to try to break back up to the upside. And when it got to this point right here, at this high and at this high, you have blue candles that cause reversals, and it caused a reversal right here. So if we mark this candle off and we come all the way over here, like we know that this is a spot where Jasmy decided, not today, bro, I'm going down. Okay, so this was the area where they aggressively moved from. So when it comes back to this area, something's gonna happen. So we drag this across. All right. And this is just so you can see what's been happening with Jasmy. I need this a little bit bigger. Look at that. Look at that. As soon as price came to this area, price is Jasmy's crushing it here. The whole sub is like we're going straight to $17 right here. $17, man. It's coming. Gets to this zone. Psh, bam. The next time when it comes through, how does it come through? Much more aggressively. Vector, 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 vector. Breaks through the zone. Comes back and retests that zone and psh, gone. So I look for something like that, and I know that when Jasmy comes back to that area, like that's where I'm gonna see something. I'm either gonna see it, you know, come up, hit it, and bam, pull away from it, or it's gonna come up and hit it, and then it's gonna go through with aggression. Okay. So when I look at Jasmy's chart right now, make sure I'm on the right chart. Okay. We have a breakout right here, and everybody expects for Jasmy to just go straight to $17, just like every time. Okay. But what's likely to happen? Let's look back here. Back here, remember, we already went through this, but this 425% move, okay? After that move, after this move, took 87 days before Jasmy broke out to a new high. Okay, well, yeah, actually, no, I guess technically this was part of the breakout here. He had a breakout and a retest. So took 84 days. 84 days. And what happened, right? Jasmy came up. To here. Came down, came back up, made a lower high. Then it came down, made a lower low. Then it breaks through this first trend line. Okay? Makes a new high here. So at this point, your trend line would have moved to like here. All right. And then Jasmy rips it, breaks through the trend line, creates a new lower high, but it rejects and drops back down, comes all the way back down, and doesn't really make a new low, but it makes like a double bottom. And over here it might be like a triple bottom. I mean, I'm sure that this is maybe like a smidgen lower than that, but I mean, realistically, this is all the same. So this is 87 days, man. So like, where are we at right now? Or I should say, where are you at right now? I'm not a Jasmy holder, but right now you're 50 days in. And like, you could absolutely rip this. You could absolutely rip this from here and go through the moon. And maybe you will. You know, maybe you'll just go straight to a new high, but like my personal belief based off of, you know, shit I've already seen, when you had this move right here, this was 400% up to this spot. So your gain from here to here, 62%, but like, I mean, hell, if you look from where it actually like really broke out, I mean, that's 155% of a move, and it's 155% of a move that was already 425%. It's a gargantuan move, man. Like, you have to be able to look at shit like this and say, like, you know, got a huge spread between the. This is the daily chart, man, and your 250-day moving averages are that far apart, and you're way the hell up here. 13-day moving average, 5-day moving average. We're north of it like this. This is holy shit far away. Like, that's got to be something that you can look at and say, like, you know, it might be time to pay myself, you know? And if you sell any time up here, look at all this goddamn time you had to make a profit. Like, oh, this is, like, man, I'm not a holder, man. This is for you. Doesn't help me. I got to do this on other coins. But, like, this does help you. All right? So now that we have this breakout, and this is like I said, this is what did I say, 50 days or 54 days? All right, we're on day 51, okay? The other breakout was 84 days, so, like, that's the end of August. So the only things, I mean, just based off of the way that you've seen Jasmy move in before, like when this all first started happening, I mean, I said specifically, I don't think you're going to see a new high before August at the earliest. Could be later. I mean, like, the economy's not doing very well. And, like, something else I wanted to touch on a little bit. I see this in the comments all the time, and it's like, I don't know why it rubs me, because it's not that it's wrong, but, like, people are always like, man, all you gotta do to know if Jasmy's gonna go up is look at Bitcoin. I mean, like, it's not like that doesn't kind of happen. It does, but it doesn't happen because of Bitcoin. You're not paired against Bitcoin. Like, when you look at this up here, this is what you're paired against. Jasmy is paired against USDT. That's the dollar. So this is the chart index for the dollar. When this shit's up here, the assets that are paired against it are doing terrible, because this is fucking terrible for it. When they're down here, when they're at lows, you're like, we're going to $17. Like here, this right here, this is June 7th. How is Jasmy doing on June 7th? June 7th. The literal top, okay, was the bottom for the dollar. As soon as the dollar reversed, you could tell that, like, Jasmy's gonna enter a down phase. Okay? How does Jasmy doing on June 28th? June 28th. This high right here. Like, Jasmy went from here up to here, and after the dollar top, then Jasmy dropped down right here. So Jasmy bottoms when the dollar tops, and Jasmy tops when the dollar bottoms. All right, so look back here, March 8th, dollar bottoms. How is it for Jasmy? Right in here, but literally right after this huge move. Now, I didn't nail it to the day, but I mean, hell, what's the dollar doing on March 4th? All right. Dollar's going from here up to here. So all I'm saying is that, like, when you have these times where Jasmy's coming up here and going down to here, it's not because Bitcoin's doing something. Bitcoin's doing it for the same reason that Jasmy's doing it, because it matters what the dollar's doing. Anyway, this is run on forever now. Looking at a goddamn hour and a half. But anyway, I always wanted to do one of these, so I don't know. If you got something from this, you know, comment either on the Reddit post or comment on the video itself. I cannot comment on I can't comment on Jasmy on the Reddit post until I get that stuff cleared up. But it'll get cleared up someday, I'm sure of it. Anyway, till then, I hope you guys are doing well. And just like I said, I just really hope that, like, this helps you become a better investor, because anybody can hold a bag. Anybody can hold a bag, but man, like, the things you can do if you're willing to take advantages of this, advantages of that, advantages of, you know, like all these spots where you could just, I mean, like, you could pay yourself and increase your bag and get there much better than what you, I mean, like, you'll get there. Like, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that the people that are holding are not going to, you know, they're going to have their day. But man, I can't imagine anybody who sat through, like, what happened last cycle and went to zero, and they're thinking like, hey man, when this goes to its all-time high this or when this goes to its cycle high this time, just by the way, the coin that Jasmy was when it did this is different than the coin it is now. It's already past the market cap of the coin that did this. The metrics of the coin are completely different. So, like, if you're using this as your rationale for, like, hey man, it went to 35 cents before, so, like, why can't we 10x from that and go to, like, I mean, the economics of the coin are so different now that, like, you need to understand that this coin has a big cap right now. I think this might be up to date. It says about 1.6 billion. 1.6 billion. I mean, like, dude, like, really good layer 1 coins have, like, I mean, if you're looking for this coin to, like, 20x, I think that's definitely possible. I mean, like, 50, 60 cents, sure. But when you're talking about $17, you're at $1.6 billion. You know how much money that is? Like, this is, like, you have to understand, like, this is not Solana. This is not Ethereum. This is not Bitcoin. This is a coin that, like, its purpose, I mean, I don't care what you say. It's niche. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not going to be successful. I believe that it's definitely going to be successful. But, like, if you think that it's going to, like, overrun, like, Solana or, like, you know, these other, everybody looks and says, like, oh, Doge went this high, so it can go that high. Because, dude, Doge did something it shouldn't have done. I mean, like, that, it was, Doge is a pioneer in its own right. It's like that first, you know, really big meme coin. And I mean, I don't know. Like, just because some weird shit happens with one coin doesn't mean that can be your foundation for your argument for why Jasmy has to be, like, so much better than something else. I mean, what I think you need to do, in my opinion, is, like, you could hope for $17, and if you get $17, that's amazing. But plan for that you're gonna get, like, 50 cents. And, like, if the money that you would have at 50 cents is not enough to make you happy, then you have to start like learning from this shit and start taking advantage of it. And like, get yourself to a point where 50 or 60 cents is going to give you that. You have to do it for yourself. Like I said, this market's not going to pay you. You have to pay yourself. So anyway, I hope that you guys are getting a lot out of the updates. I'll continue to do them. I don't know how often I'll do a video like this. Although, if there is, like, if you learned a lot from this and you want me to do more of these, I could definitely do more. And I could also, shorten them down now that I've had such a broad overview on a video like this. I can do them in the future, but it would have to be something that like people really wanted to see. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope you had a good day, and we'll talk to you later.